Because we are true fighters.
Yeah, two fighters.
True fighters.
True, yeah, of course. No, not YouTuber fighters.
Huh?
Not YouTuber fighters. Yeah, of course.
They need to talk and talk shit about the fight because they want to say something. But people know we are great fighters. We want to put a great fight. Yeah. We don't need to talk
I am sure in the end, in the mid of September, we will have one of the greatest fights ever happen in boxing. And I am sure.
Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford is shaping up to be one of the most historic boxing matches ever. Both fighters are reigning champions and considered legends by their fans. But now, Terence Crawford has just dropped new training footage, and it's turning heads. He looks razor-sharp, incredibly fast, and laser-focused. His movement is fluid, his punches are crisp, and his footwork is flawless. Fans are buzzing with excitement, saying Crawford looks to be in peak form as he gears up for the biggest fight of his career. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. weighed in on the upcoming Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford showdown, and is placing heavy odds in Canelo's favor. According to Chavez Jr., Canelo is simply too strong and too big for Crawford. He pointed out that Crawford hasn't been fighting at this weight long enough and doesn't appear to have the kind of power that would make Canelo respect him in the ring. Chavez Jr. estimated the matchup to be about 80-20 or 70-30 in favor of Canelo. While he acknowledged Crawford's speed, he doesn't believe it will be enough. He also praised Canelo's skill and consistency, calling him a great boxer who has done his job well. Chavez Jr. added that having Canelo's backing means a lot, especially with strong support from fans in Mexico and beyond. He even admitted he was surprised to see Jake Paul publicly supporting Canelo.
Pienso que Canelo es muy fuerte, bueno y grande para Crawford. O sea, el tiempo que él tiene peleando en ese peso, yo Canelo 80-20, 70-30, Canelo. Yo no veo de dónde Crawford le gana.
Rapidez de Crawford.
Sí, o sea, rapidez de Crawford, pero no tiene la potencia como para que Canelo lo respete, parece.
Coach Bullet shared his insights on the upcoming clash between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, calling Bud a magician in the ring, and even more seasoned than fighters like Teofimo Lopez or Roy Jones Jr. in his view. If anyone can beat Canelo at this stage of his career, it's Crawford. Bullet pointed out that Canelo's movement and mobility have noticeably declined with age, and he no longer fights with the same intensity as he once did. His advice to Crawford? Don't engage in a toe-to-toe war early. Instead, he suggested that Bud drag Canelo into a strategic, technical boxing match. By doing this, Crawford could exploit Canelo's stamina in the later rounds and aim for a points victory. And if the opportunity to finish Canelo presents itself, take it, but only if it's a sure thing.
This before, and I think you mentioned Bud was going to beat Canelo?
Yeah, like I said, Bud is a magician, like Teofimo and like Roddy, but just more seasoned than the both of those other two. Bud could do it if anybody could do it. At this age, Canelo's movement and mobility is not the same. He's not engaging like he did before, but I want to advise Bud to stand toe-to-toe with him. I would drag him into a boxing match and see his condition and his movement in the later rounds and try to win on points.
Coach Bullet also emphasized that Canelo Alvarez should not be underestimated at 168 pounds, calling him the king of the super middleweight division. While Canelo's loss at 175 pounds exposed some limitations at higher weight classes, Bullet warned that Canelo remains a serious threat at his natural weight. He drew a comparison to Canelo's controversial win over Erislandy Lara, saying that, much like Dmitry Bivol at 175, Lara may have outpointed Canelo, but the decision still went in Canelo's favor. Bullet hinted that Canelo's ring strategy and strong reputation often influence outcomes. Still, he believes Crawford has a real chance to win, calling it a true 50-50th fight despite the uphill battle.
Rules in a pound for pound at 168, we cannot take a Canelo at 168 lightly against Bud Crawford. You see what I'm saying? Canelo is the kingpin of 68. He may have lost at 75 trying to jump out the gym for greatness. You know what I'm saying? The Skull performance was, Skull is a mover, like the Arizona Lara. You know what I'm saying? Lara, to me, beat Canelo. And I feel like Skull really outpointed him, but because of the movement and the game plan ahead, they gave it to Canelo. You understand what I'm saying? So, Bud, I hope you could do it. Canelo that's his division. He was born to fight that weight, and it's just a tough one. But I will give Bud a fair shot. So it's a 50.
At the official face-off, Canelo Alvarez made his position clear. This fight isn't about hype, it's about skill. He emphasized that both he and Terence Crawford are true fighters, not social media stars or entertainers pretending to be boxers. Canelo pointed out that unlike others who rely on trash talk to draw attention, real boxing fans already understand the magnitude of this matchup. He stressed that the focus should be on discipline, talent, and mutual respect, not drama. For him, this is about giving the fans a high-level, honest fight between two of the best in the sport.
Because we are true fighters.
Yeah, two fighters.
True fighters.
True, yeah, of course. No, not YouTuber fighters.
Huh?
Not YouTuber fighters. Yeah, of course.
They need to talk and talk chat about the fight because they want to say something. The people know we are great fighters. We want to put a great fight. Yeah, we don't need to talk.
I am sure in the end, in the mid of September, we will have one of the greatest fights ever happen in boxing, and I am sure.
Coach Bullet elaborated on why he slightly favors Canelo Alvarez over Terence Crawford in their upcoming showdown. His main reason? Canelo's natural bone structure and size at 168 pounds. While he praised Crawford's strength, especially after his dominant performance against Errol Spence Jr., Bullet pointed out a common belief in the boxing world. Spence was never quite the same after his car accident. In Bullet's view, that version of Spence wasn't truly elite, which makes Canelo the first real top-level challenge Crawford has faced. He also mentioned that while it would have been ideal if this fight had happened a few years earlier, fans shouldn't underestimate just how well-prepared Canelo will be, especially coming off his recent showing against William Skull.
And that's my point about the bone structure at 168. See, pound for pound is a real thing. That bone structure is the only thing that's making me go 1% more to Canelo than Bud. You know what I'm saying? So, Bud is strong. They told me, before he fought Earl Spence, see, Bud's strong. You know, me, Bomac, and the other trainer was going, saying what we had to say to each other. And, he made a good name for himself fighting Earl Spence, but the world knows that's a C-level Earl Spence that he fought after the accident. So, this would be his first fight, really fighting somebody that, on that level, I wish he was done a couple of years earlier, but hey, you can't count Canelo out at 68. And you think he's not going to be more than ready for Bud than he was?
Coach Bullet also spoke about how different fighters bring different styles to the ring. He gave special praise to Floyd Mayweather, calling him a cerebral monster with an unmatched boxing IQ. Bullet said it's unfair to compare Mayweather versus Canelo to Crawford versus Canelo, because this is an entirely different kind of fight with its own set of challenges. Still, he expressed joy over both fighters landing such a massive payday and noted how important this moment is for Crawford's legacy. In Bullet's view, Crawford has truly earned this shot at Canelo and deserves every bit of the spotlight.
More punches. It's a totally different style to fight. Mayweather is a beast. He's a freaking cerebral monster in the ring. His IQ is way farther than all these guys put together. So we can't compare that Canelo and Mayweather fight to a Bud Crawford and Canelo fight. You see what I'm saying? So it's just a different level for me, man. I just feel, I love the fact that they're fighting for a big bag. I love that. I love they're both gonna be laughing to the bank. I love that for Bud Crawford's legacy. You know what I'm saying? And he earned it, he deserved it to fight.
Corin Davis shared his perspective on the highly anticipated fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, offering insight as someone who's been in the ring with both. Davis said that preparation will be everything, especially with Crawford moving up to 168 pounds. He noted that Crawford has already been training at a heavier weight and is putting in serious work, which should help him adjust. However, Davis emphasized that Canelo holds a significant edge in experience at super middleweight, having fought in that division for years. He compared the upcoming bout to a chess match between two elite fighters, saying Crawford has the skill and ring IQ to compete at any level. Still, he admitted that Canelo's power and comfort at 168 could ultimately give him the upper hand. Davis slightly leaned toward Canelo as the likely winner but made it clear, if anyone can successfully jump up and pull off this upset, it's Terence Crawford.
So you've been in there with Crawford, you've been there with Canelo. What can you take from sparring both of them to gauge what's gonna happen in September?
Preparation is gonna definitely be everything. Crawford adjusting to the 168 pound division. I know he's been sitting at a heavier weight for a while, but he's been showing his training and stuff. So that's definitely gonna help him. Canelo's experience. You got Crawford, he got great experience as well. It's gonna be a great fight. It's gonna be a good chess match. I expect a great fight. If I had to favor somebody, I would just pick Canelo because of the weight disparity. Canelo is naturally sits really well at 168, and it's just always tough for a guy to come to 168 and come from that many weight classes up and do something like that. If he does it, if anybody could do it, it'll be Terence Crawford.
Sebastian Fundora also gave his take, saying he doesn't believe Terence Crawford will beat Canelo Alvarez. He cited Canelo's size and his deep experience at 168 pounds as the main advantages. While he acknowledged that Crawford is a great fighter, Fundora said Canelo is more naturally suited for that weight class and has proven himself there over the years. He pushed back on the idea that Canelo looked slow in his fight against John Ryder, clarifying that he was just slightly off, not sluggish. Fundora also reminded fans that May 31st will be a huge night for boxing, with both Crawford versus Canelo and Caleb Plant versus Dermal Charlo taking place on the same card.
Crawford beats Canelo?
I don't think so.
Why is that?
This guy's more comfortable at 168. He's been fighting 168 for 4 or 5 years now. Crawford's a great fighter, but we'll see. Boxing, anything can happen.
Did it look like Canelo was slowing down against Skull?
No, I think it's just something he's uncomfortable with.
Mickey Bay offered a unique perspective and expressed some real hope for Terence Crawford's chances. He believes Crawford doesn't need to pack on extra weight to succeed in this fight. In Bay's opinion, staying between 165 and 168 pounds is ideal. Anything more could slow him down. Bay stressed that preserving Crawford's speed and movement will be critical to his performance.
I wouldn't come heavy. In my opinion, I would come in at this is my opinion, I would come in at 65 and come in at the same weight for the fight.
Bay expanded on his point, saying that if Crawford enters the ring in the 160s range, maintains his sharpness, and focuses on elite conditioning, he might be able to outpoint Canelo. He drew a comparison to how Floyd Mayweather handled fighting at 154, choosing not to bulk up unnecessarily and instead relying on his natural strengths. Bay suggested Crawford should take a similar approach, fight smart, not heavy.
He can come in at whatever, like Floyd, fight 154. Yeah, Floyd can't get up to 180, but Floyd probably was in the walk around, he can get up to 60, 65, probably when he's not doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But when he trained, it's going to drop in the 50s. So basically, when Floyd in shape, he always in his 50s, 160 and down. So when he fought Canelo, he still ain't gained weight because he might have weighed 150 and weighed 150 on fight, not at 150.
Richardson Hitchens also weighed in, saying that while Crawford is not the same type of fighter as those who've already beaten Canelo, like Floyd Mayweather or Dmitry Bykol, he might still have a path to victory. Hitchens praised Crawford's ring intelligence and adaptability, saying he doesn't need to copy anyone. Instead, he should lean into his own style and fight his way. That said, Hitchens doesn't expect a knockout. Canelo has never been stopped, and he questioned whether even someone as skilled as Crawford could be the first to change that.